Swine, what's Zam? Welcome to Controversial Conversations Podcast. You're rocking with Los Angeles Street Vlog. You got my dog, Great Flawless JC, and you got my dog, J Beast. And we about to get into the Nolan Wells case and update.
All right, so basically, I'm gonna play this audio of the phone recording, and we gonna try to figure out if we hear what everybody is saying. They are saying in the background. So look at the screen and look at the transcript, and let's see if we can hear what they saying.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can you all please come? We have a membership. Hey, up! Shut the up!
Could y'all make out anything from that clip based on what they were saying and the words on the screen?
Nah, for sure. I definitely heard he's DEAD. I've definitely heard UKILLED him. You hear me? I definitely heard those things. If people saying that they didn't hear that, you're either delusional or you just don't want to believe it. But that definitely was said in the background. There's a lot of distortion. It's not clear at all. There's a lot of room for error and there's a lot of room for speculation. But those words were said.
To the point of what LA was saying, them certain words you was hearing clearly. So yeah, if anybody's saying different, they just being biased.
Some of the words I could hear, some of them I can't. I can't clearly say like everything they saying is accurate to that transcript. I said I did kind of hear Nolan's name. Of course, I heard the get up, but we still don't know the context of like what they was talking about for sure. But it is kind of weird. Some of it does sound like his name, but I don't know. We could be grasping at straws. I think there's bias whenever they got the words on the screen. Like I feel like if the words wasn't on the screen, it would be harder for us to pick out.
J Beast, I get what you're saying 100%. But I definitely heard KILLED him, and I definitely heard he's DEAD. Yes, I definitely heard those things. I'll attest to that.
And I mean, for a while, I stopped reading it and just held my ear to listen to what they were saying, and I clearly heard his name. And from the story that they told in the beginning, he shouldn't have been on the boat, so there's no reason to be saying his name. You know, so that's suspicious.
Complete autopsy report. That means they've got tox, they've probably got histology, which is going to be the tissue studies, and they actually have the anatomical autopsy report that has been completed. That's what I think it was ABC that was reporting that. I can't validate that, but that's what is being leaked out at this point in time. So they have this report. I think the question is, and this goes back to you, my friend, is that if this is going to be a grand jury thing, when is it going? And when is the medical examiner going to be called and summoned to speak to this? That's what everybody's going to be hanging on.
So yeah, with the state having the autopsy done and them not wanting to release it, what do we think about that? Because the state will have the most accurate information because they were the first ones with the body.
So I think just because we got an eye on this one, we want all the information. I think we should wait till they go to court. That's when the real full thing will come out. And like they say, once they call the examiner to the stand, he can't lie. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be under oath, so he gotta answer those questions that we have. You know.
Nah. Not at all. We can't have special rules and regulations for certain situations. If this was anybody else, any normal case in America, the autopsy would have been released to the family already. It would not still be withheld. Information about the autopsy would not be withheld. What is the issue? I feel like the government in Mississippi is being racist. And the only way to combat that is for people to call it out. You gotta call it out. Why is they being racist? When you got a lady like Nancy Grace, a white woman, on air every day fighting for a young black kid, you know that is a problem. You know that is a problem. In a world like America, that is an issue. We need to combat it by calling it out and bringing it to the forefront. There's no way. Any other case in America, the autopsy, every evidence would have been released to that child's family, especially if it was a white American boy.
To your point, the family should get it, but I think after they kind of went on the defense, that's what's probably making them withheld the information. So I don't understand that part. But as far as the uh the whole world knowing the information how we want it, people that don't have nothing to do with the case, I can see why they not releasing it. I don't know why they wouldn't release it to the family though. Like, to
It's
your
not
point,
that's that no, I can't agree with that because in any normal case in America, autopsies are public information, it's public domain.
autopsies is not public domain. It's not publicly documented. They don't just automatically give medical reports to the public. So that's not true.
Well, I guess the other side of that is they said the family hadn't even
Yeah, to the
seen it.
family point, that's the point. They should give it to the family, but not in private. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like they feel like they was playing offense, so they messing around with them. So I don't agree with that. I think it's something fishy with that. But as for us as civilians looking into it, I can see them not giving full information. That's what the court proceedings is going to be there for. You know?
Yeah, and that's why I think too they possibly just holding out on this because they gonna put it in front of a grand jury first, before they release it to everybody else. And if the grand jury feels like it, there's enough there for foul play, then they gonna investigate it as criminal. But I guess until then, they probably not gonna release anything.
And autopsy is not automatically public domain. I might have been wrong in that. But by the family requesting it and it being a national case, it can be public record. It's supposed to be at this point. The mother of this child in Mississippi, every state have different laws. In Mississippi, if the family requests the autopsy, it's supposed to be provided immediately. So, okay, it might not be public domain, but she wants it to be public domain. The person who's responsible for this document is calling for the document, is calling for it to be public
But
record.
I think before they went private, before they could have got the stuff private, I feel like the state took it like she coming at them, so they playing with her. You know what I'm saying?
But
But
that is illegal. That is illegal. That is not legal. Under Mississippi state law, you can Google it right now. The state must release an autopsy report to the family member, the guardian of that person, or the next of kin. So that what makes it illegal. You can Google it. This is public information. I just went fact checking myself. Oh, that's why I'm saying something happened. Is something wrong there? And they should have got to the bottom of it because I'm not condemning the kids. I'm condemning everybody involved because if it was just a straight accidental death, wouldn't that have been proven already? So that alone tells you that it's more to it than just that.
Nancy Grace said they should polygraph everybody who was on the boat. Do we think that's a good idea, or do we think that's gonna give us any type of answers that we missing?
yeah, I think they should because they said 4 of the 5 boys that was on the boat did a lie detector test or something equivalent to the lie detector test. I think all 5 of them should do a lie detector. Just like LA was saying, if this was all black kids and one white kid end up unalive, would those black kids be free to go home, or would they be in jail till we figured out what happened?
I feel like this: if you innocent, you shouldn't have nothing to hide. Come to the front and talk to the congregation straight up. It ain't no cutting no corners. Man, I am a black African American male that have been to jail 4 times, 4-time convicted felon. There's nothing that I experienced in a legal system that shows me that this is how it goes. This is not how it goes, especially when a culprit is a black person. This is not how it goes. So why is it going this way? Is it because it's a bunch of young white kids who they feel have a future that can be messed up? Well, look, it's a black kid that's unalive and will never get to have a future. And his mom and the rest of his family got to deal with that. So we need to stop. What we need to stop doing is giving people grace when they don't deserve it. The same person that didn't give another person grace, you expect us to bow down and give them grace. Well, nah, let's watch their ass walk graciously into a jail cell.
I
I,
say
I,
they should polygraph everybody on the boat because I mean, the more to me, that's a part of evidence collection. Like you doing an investigation, that should be a part of an investigation. If you want to get a bigger picture, like why leave question marks out here? If you get a polygraph, whether they pass or fail, everybody kind of knows how that goes. But like it'll steer you like in a better direction than being confused.
and there's no reason to be lying. Once your story start changing, you lying, you hiding something. And I want to clarify too. I don't want to seem like I'm straddling the fence. I side with the family. You know what I'm saying? And anything that they want done, I think should happen. They should get the reports and everything. And I hope Ben Crump do his job and get some type of payment from the state for withholding all the evidence that they looking for.
I'm gonna play a clip from this army interrogator who's looking at this interview of one of Nolan's friends who's telling his story, and he's gonna point out some inconsistencies and things that just don't make sense. And this is coming from somebody who was there with Nolan that day.
Through source operations and through strategic debriefings. I've got tons of certifications. I'm an expert at this.
You guys get ready to leave out of there, getting towed out.
Yeah.
And then where's Nolan in this situation?
Well, Nolan was the last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
Last time he saw Nolan was 3 o'clock. That is critically important information. All right here, he's talking about when his buddy Bart pulls out his buddy Wyatt's boat. So Bart is on one boat and he's pulling out Wyatt's boat. Wyatt's boat is the one that you've heard about was taking on water and sinking, and that's why they had to leave Horn Island. I want you to pay attention to this.
To where we're out of all this, all this chaos, because we left at 4:30 and there was still.
We left at 4:30.
Yeah.
We left at 4:30. This guy just said that the
last time I saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
And Nolan was cradling a girl in his arms.
Yes.
Katie. Katie.
That's Katie McCormick that he's talking about. Katie McCormick said that's not true, but let's listen. This is at 3 o'clock. This happened at 3 o'clock.
And Nolan was sitting there, and the last time I saw him, I looked at Nolan, and Nolan was like shaking his head, laughing. That was the last time I laid eyes on him. But when we were leaving,
so it would be 4:30 because he's already said we were leaving at 4:30.
Nolan was sitting by the boat.
Nolan was sitting by the boat. How do you know, Warren, that Nolan was sitting by the boat? The last time you laid eyes on him was at 3 o'clock. It's
Come on, bruh. Hold on now, bruh. Hold on. Oh, no. Oh, no. This
last time you laid eyes on him was at 3 o'clock.
Oh, my God.
It's now 4:30. This is your timeline. Timeline is everything. At this part of the story, he's at 4:30.
Oh, cook him.
But he just said less than 2 minutes ago, that the last time he saw Nolan was 3 o'clock.
Oh, cook
Nolan
him.
was sitting by the boat with that Katie girl, and
how do you know that? The last time you laid eyes, your exact words, on him was 3 o'clock. You're now talking about 4:30. Now listen, what happens next?
My buddy yelled for Nolan, get on the boat. We're leaving.
Now, in the interest of like honest analysis here, if they were both on the boat and he heard his buddy yelling at Nolan, not him, by the way. Warren wasn't yelling at Nolan. Even in his own story, he wasn't looking for Nolan or yelling for Nolan. And in the beginning of part 1 of the interview, he says, Nolan was like a brother to me. He was my best friend. More than a friend, though. He was like a brother to me.
The multiple stories is like red flags. Like him saying one thing, him saying he saw Nolan like hugged up with Katie, and the girl Katie herself coming out saying that's not true is like a huge red flag. Like, so it's like, what's really going on? Like, for everybody to be there and everybody to have different stories, and kind of the whole timeline thing too. How he said the last time he seen him was at 3 o'clock, but then he started talking about 4 o'clock. He seen Nolan nodding his head and laughing or something. It's just not adding up. So it points more towards something nefarious happened. Like whenever you look at this, whenever you get witness testimonies like this, now it looks crazy.
When people tell the truth, it's usually short and precise. When you start adding all this filler and stuff or whatever, you lying. And so never trust a man with a jawline that sharp.
Well, 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. A lie plus a lie is liars. They all lying. If they don't go to jail, they need to go to hell. And look, I'm Los Angeles Street Vlogs signing out. We'll keep y'all posted on the Nolan Wells updates. More updates coming soon.